What's up guys, today we are not going to be focusing on the motor. Today we're going to be cleaning up the engine bay. So here's the engine bay. I just sprayed a bunch of degreaser everywhere. So we're just letting it sit for a little bit, let it clean up the grease, and then we're going to just spray it down. We're going to do some sanding, not a whole lot, because we will be painting this bay, and the goal for the end of this video is to have the bay primered and ready to go. So we have some cleaning to do, we have some sanding to do, not a whole lot. If you watch the video where we fixed these rust holes, we took out the OEM braces that go from here to here. We're going to put in new ones. We're going to custom make them, so I have to do that. Throw them on, make sure the fenders still fit because it has to go under the fender. Everything's good, fully weld it both sides, and then just spray primer on the whole bay. So making progress, just hand sanding it now. Got everywhere I could with the power sander. But now I'm just getting all the little areas with my hands. This isn't going to be a high effort paint job. Everything that you see in the bay right now is gonna stay while I'm painting. I'm just gonna try and push everything into the middle, put some plastic over that so it doesn't get overspray on it. Like all of this won't even be seen because we have the power steering and the stock air box sitting in that corner. Over here we've got the battery and the fuse box and the overflow. So really the only places that are gonna be seen are a little bit of this because there's a rubber piece that goes over here. They're gonna see the top firewall, that's why we tucked the brake lines under, and both the strut towers. So I want those areas to actually look good. The other areas aren't as important. When we actually do a more in-depth build of this car, then we'll take everything out, resand it, repaint it, make sure it's perfect. But I'm not messing with the AC system at all because it still works and it's R12, and if I start taking stuff out, then we have to refill it and recharge it, and you can't get R12 anymore. I don't really want to go through that. I want to convert it to R134A. However, I'm going to do that in the winter once things are colder and I don't need AC anymore. So for now, we just have to make a few areas look really good. The rest can be so-so. I'm working on the braces that I said I wasn't going to do. However, I picked up some thinner metal. It's some 14 gauge, which is the same thickness as this piece here. Got it welded in. I think it came out pretty nice. The fender covers this whole section here, so all you really see is that weld, and then the two dimple dies, obviously. And it is in there. Looks awesome. It was a little too complicated for me to try and figure out how to get it to follow this line and bring over and down. So I just decided, you know what, straight back, fuck it, it's good enough. Once we get them both in and I'm happy with it, then we can finish taping everything up, and hopefully tonight we can get the primer done. Alright guys, so we got driver's side and passenger side totally done. Everything is good to go, so now we can tape everything up. But like I said, with the engine in, not everything is going to be showing. Alright guys, let's tape it up and get ready for our first coat of primer. Alright guys, I think we're at a point where we can do a final wipe down and then start doing the primer. So basically this is what's going to be painted. I'm really hyped about the gussets, they look sick. Alright, anyways guys, let's wipe it down and then primer. first coat is done. We're gonna wait a little bit and then apply a second coat. We're gonna do 2 to 3 coats. We'll see how the second coat looks, and then we will let the car dry overnight. Alright guys, we have 3 coats of primer on, and it's looking pretty good. Apparently this stuff only takes 30 minutes to dry, but we're going to be having the car sit overnight anyways, and then we'll do the painting tomorrow. But this is how the car is going to be for the next 24 hours. So that is going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. We are so close to getting the Skyline back and running. Tomorrow we're gonna paint it and hopefully get the motor and everything back together. I'm really hoping that we can get the car in and running by Sunday night, so we'll see what happens. So I was gonna end the video there, however, I felt that the primer and paint videos were too short on their own, so we're combining them. So now we're gonna jump on over to painting the bay. So here she is. She's been drying out for about 24 hours now, but everything's primed, ready to go. So let me show you guys what color we're gonna paint it. So this is the color we're gonna paint it. It's this candy blue raz. It actually looks pretty sick. So that's what a couple coats looks like. It's a metallic blue. Because of COVID, paint is still super hard to get, so I got lucky that I found those. I went to like 4 different stores, called places, because I didn't even want that color. I wanted to do a different color, but they didn't have any in stock. So this was really my plan B, and I think it's gonna work out a little better. I just wish that I was able to find one more can, because I've only found 2. But we're gonna do as many coats as we can with 2 cans. I think we're gonna get like 2 to 3 coats. And then we're gonna use this hologram glitter effect spray. And we're gonna do a few coats of this, and this is just to give that extra shine to it. I bought this just to try it out, and I mean, it's pretty cool, but it's not really the effect that I'm looking for. You can kind of see it, but it's got this like neochrome effect, but it just makes it look like super reflective. But I'm looking for something that really pops. And this right here is the hologram spray. It's not as just shiny as this. It gives it more of that sparkle, and I think it's just a little bit higher quality. So I have 4 cans of those because I'm going to be using that a lot on a lot of things. It just makes things look better in my opinion. Just know that this is a medium effort paint job. That's why we're doing it at night, not in a paint booth, because we don't have time and it doesn't have to be perfect. There will be a day when we sand it down again and do like a legit paint job with an actual gun, and we just have everything taken out so we can get everywhere. Today is not that day. I need this thing painted by tomorrow because the motor needs to go back in. So without further ado, let's just start doing the first coat. Okay, so this is how far 1 can got me. It was a little low because I did do some test sprays just because I wanted to make sure that I wanted this color. It did get a good amount, but it didn't get everywhere. So I'm hoping to get full coverage of it and then maybe another light coat after that. But like I said, we only have 1 more can, so let's see how this goes. So I just ran out of paint. Got me 1 full coat and then I did a light coat, and then I still had some left over, so I touched up the strut towers and the back firewall. Just because those are areas that are going to show, so I want to make sure that those got enough paint and they're going to look good. I'm glad that I got to primer over everything so there's no rust. So now we're just going to let it dry. It says it dries to the touch in 10 minutes. We're going to let it cure overnight though. But I think it came out pretty good. It's going to look sick with the motor in. Got the valve covers painted. Not revealing that color till we did the motor in. But yeah, this was the first time I painted a bay with a rattle can. I think it came out alright considering all the shit that I had to cover because I didn't pull anything out really. There are areas that I couldn't really get to because there's things like the brake booster in the way. I tried to get down there as best as I could, but I just couldn't really get up high enough to under that lip. And the paint itself like looks really good for a rattle can. Like, that's sick. So we're gonna let this dry for about an hour, and then we're gonna do the hologram glitter spray over it, and that'll make it really sparkle and really pop. So if you guys haven't been following along, this motor, cylinder 4 rings bad, had to pull it. This is my spare motor. I got it before I even got the Skyline. I got it as a spare motor for my 240 just in case, but since the Skyline's also RB20, we're able to reuse it. So there'll be a card to link to a playlist showing this like 1 week swap. I'm really hyped about this. I'm like praying that everything goes good and we go to start it up and everything runs right. We're gonna do a 1,000-mile break-in, so just daily driving. The car is my daily, so that shouldn't be too difficult to pull off. But I have everything for the motor. Everything's pretty much done. There's things I still have to swap over from this motor, and then I'm gonna throw like the intake manifold and everything on. But this one is just about ready to go. Hopefully we can get it all fully assembled and throw it in tomorrow. and then maybe tomorrow night start it. If not tomorrow night, then Sunday start the car. One thing I learned a while back, if you put spray paint in hot water or warm water for a while and just let it sit in there, it'll spray more evenly and the pattern will be better and it'll just come out better. So I got these cans just sitting in there because this pan just painting like heat shields and little brackets and stuff. And I got the glitter spray, getting those ready for the engine bay. Alright, so it's been an hour, so it's all dry to the touch. It's pretty smooth. I'm actually like really happy with how it's turned out. On my 240, when I painted that bay, it was really rough, and it's kind of like this area right here is a little rough. The primer at first sprayed it a little weird, and I forgot to sand it down and respray. So this area is a little bit rough right here, but everywhere else, like the tops of the strut towers, this is all smooth. Up here is all smooth, looks really good. So at this point, we're now ready to do the coats of this hologram spray. So let's do that, it's gonna look sick. Okay, so that made it look so much better. It makes it look not only sparkly, but more wet and smooth. I'm in love with this. And that's just one coat. We're gonna do like 3 or 4. Alright guys, the bay is complete. Just gonna let it dry now. I think I messed up. I might have not waited long enough between coats of the glitter spray, because there's some areas like here and there that turned lighter than the rest. So that's unfortunate, but because this is a temporary setup, temporary probably being like a year or 2, I'm not too worried with it. It is a huge improvement over what it was. I think if I had another can of the blue, probably could have done a way better job. Unfortunately, it is what it is. When this happened, I was searching for paint almost immediately, so this is gonna dry overnight. Painting at night is not ideal. Avoid it if you can. If you are running out of time, then you kind of just don't have any options really if you want the bay painted. You know, we were restrained to certain time limits, couldn't get paint, so a lot of things added up to get to where we are now. And overall, I'm pretty happy with it. It's the second bay that I painted, and I don't think it came out too bad. There's definitely room for improvement, however, it's gonna stay like this. So I've just been playing with the hologram spray, and I sprayed my wiper motor. It looks pretty sick. I sprayed my hood hinges too. There's a lot of random parts that I sprayed. I sprayed intercooler piping and stuff like that. Just messing with it, just seeing how it would turn out and if I like it or not. Alright guys, that's going to be it for this video. Stay tuned for the video where we install the motor. If you haven't seen the past videos of this whole week-long swap, I'll have a card up in the corner. You can go check out the playlist. Drop some F's in the chat for the engine bay, the lighter areas. It's kind of unfortunate, but it is what it is. I don't have any blue to sand and repaint and fix that. But that is going to be it for this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.